back for another video. My name is Josh Kasich, and today, so this is kind of my idea, is kind of explaining, or my thoughts on why Game Freak took so long to make a Dark-type gym. And I don't know if you guys haven't played Pokémon Sword and Shield, they finally had a Dark-type gym in the game, and it's kind of interesting. Like, this is the 8th generation game, right? And and all this time, this is the first time they had a dark type gym. You have multiples gems of other typings, right? I mean, besides the fairy typing that got introduced in Generation 6, and Generation 7 didn't have gyms, so obviously this generation was the second generation to have a fairy type gym. But most types had 2 gyms up to this point, most. And dark type gyms had none until this games. It's an interesting idea, like, weird that all the typings that have had gyms and got multiple gyms and other gyms, most of them, it's this gym that this type that hasn't gotten any until this point. So that's kind of the idea of this video. Is like, why did Game Freak decide now to make a dark type gym? Now, there's a lot of ideas to think about. I think they could have done it like a while ago. I don't see the problem with that. I think Game Freak, if you guys don't know, the dark type in Japan is actually called the evil type. And so I think if you think about it in that way, if the dark type is evil, why would they want a gym that is evil? I mean, besides being gym leaders, right? You battle them to get your badges. They kind of protect their thing. They're also protectors of the region too, right? And they have like I said, protectors, including the Elite Four and the champion. They have to protect the region that they're in, their town or whatever, from any threats that's been going on. And so having an evil gym really does not make sense in the long scheme of things, right? I mean, if they're evil, they also have evil plans, and if you defeat them, or you defeat their evil plans, then that dark type gym would go away, right? And you would get a new gym. So it's kind of that idea where, well, we can add a dark type gym, but it won't last that long. So what would be the point? That's kind of probably what they're thinking. I mean, look at the first generation games. Or there's some other games. Well, basically, in the Kanto region, the 8th gym leader is Giovanni. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, I'm really surprised. I mean, I think even non-Pokemon fans could know what he is, just because he's, well, maybe not. I don't know. But Giovanni is the leader of Team Rocket. He's the big bad, the boss, the person who was in charge of creating Mewtwo, And so he, obviously, after you defeat him, not only in his gym, but also Team Rocket in the games, he goes away. Now, in some cases, I think Blue takes over in certain times, or at least he says he's taking over, and I think in the anime, I think it was, I forgot who took it over, but basically, Giovanni wasn't in control over it, because it was in Pokemon Battle Frontier that they introduced that fact of one of the Elite Four members was actually looking over it. She's not the gym leader, but she was just looking over in the meantime of its reconstruction for new gym leader or whatever, and so it's not like it wasn't. That means it was no longer under Team Rocket. So, it's kind of just like the games. It's kind of that idea, and so that's why it's kind of why I think now if they did go that route, right, to have an evil gym that's dark type. Now Giovanni was not a dark type user. I mean, I think he might have had a dark type on his team, but he's not specifically a dark type user. So, but let's say he was. That could have worked perfectly. I mean, yeah, who cares if it's not permanent? Now, obviously, in that generation 1, dark type did not exist. Dark type and the steel type did not exist until Gen 2. But so that's why he did not have a dark type team, okay? Which makes sense. That could be the excuse, right? But in future generations, they could have made him a dark type user, especially with all the Gen 1 reboot games. There's a lot of them, so obviously that could have happened, but no, they didn't. Obviously, they probably want to stay true to its original team, which makes sense. I understand that, and obviously, I think a lot of Pokemon fans would probably prefer that. So it's that kind of idea, and they kind of, if they did a dark type gym like that, I don't think they want to reuse story plot, right? So that's probably why they didn't do that, and so that's why they didn't want to create an evil gym or here a dark type gym. And so why now did they decide to make a dark type gym? Well, I think they realized that. I think maybe they realize now that what we realize, that the dark typing is not really evil. There's no evil Pokemon. I mean, like Umbreon. I mean, look at it. Umbreon, do you see any evil in that? No. Absol, he's not evil. He actually helps people without people realizing it, but Absol can sense, havoc or coming disasters, right? And so Absol actually tries to warn them. What's evil about that, right? And if you also look at the Darkrai movie, right? And he's not evil there. That Darkrai's not evil, even though a lot of people thought he was. But no, he wasn't the evil. He wasn't the villain of the story. And maybe in the anime, the Darkrai that did appear in the anime was more bad. But that's mostly because it wants to put people to sleep, not like kill or anything. But he's the nightmare Pokemon, right? So, that's kind of what, I think now a lot of Pokemon aren't evil. They're just the dark type. They just control that power. It's like the dark side in Star Wars. The dark side isn't evil per se. It's the people using the dark side that are evil, right? And that's why it's the absence of the Sith. Not the absence of the dark side, not equal light, equal dark. It's the absence of the Sith for balance. Because the balance of the Force is using the Force for the Force, or wielding the Force to serve the Force and not for yourself. People using the Force for themselves is what causes the imbalance in the Force. So it's kind of that idea where the dark Pokemon, they're not evil. It's just that's their power. They control the darkness, right? And so I think that's why it took so long for Game Freak to create make a dark type gym, because I think because they didn't really think about that. I mean, in Japan, any dark type gym would be called the evil type gym. And that's why some people might, especially in Japan, might be like, wait, it's called evil, but they're nice. You could see why a lot now saying that they would use evil Pokemon. But I think Game Freak probably realized now that people don't think that. I mean, what? It's called evil there, it's called dark type here, But I think that's why it took so long to take a dark type gym. Because they always thought, okay, it has to be evil. It's an evil gym. We don't, but it doesn't have to be an evil gym. And And in these games, in Sword and Shield, it is not an evil game. It's not. I mean, it's not an evil gym. I mean, I don't know why I said evil game. Whatever. It's not an evil gym. Actually, surprisingly, the guy is actually pretty cool. And well, I don't really like his hairdo, but it's kind of weird. But he actually helps with in the post story to catch the box legendaries, is kind of interesting on its own there. The box legendaries you don't actually catch in the story. You catch the third legendary in the story, and you don't catch the box legendaries until the post game. So that's actually kind of interesting. But basically, the dark type, the gym leader, what's his name? I've Pierce, I think it is Pierce. Pierce, he's the gym leader, and in fact, his sister, Marina, I think it's Marina, I don't know. Basically, she is not only one of your rivals, but you kind of become friends, right? And so he's not evil. He helps in the post story to stop the two weird brother royals or whatever descendants, the weirdos as I like to call them, because like who puts their hair like that? Whatever, you would know. Yeah, and he's not evil. He's actually a pretty cool guy and nice. And what we thought was the evil team, it wasn't really an evil team. They're just kind of cheerleaders they're kind of like I wouldn't say gangsta, because that was more in Sun and Moon, which is really weird. Team Squad is kind of cool, but it's like, why did they pick this gangsta team? I don't know. I mean, like, they probably most likely why they did this because they really wanted to make that team, and they didn't do that for Unova, which is kind of based on the United States. Most people say it's based on New York. I thought it was just based on the entire United States. I mean, the Pokemon's kind of based on all of the United States than just New York. I mean, but that's besides the point. Hawaii, which is also a state, right? Although the region isn't part of the Unova in this case, it's kind of its own region. But Alola is based on Hawaii, right? So, and it's kind of like, okay, well, we forgot to put a gangsta team in Unova, so let's put it in Hawaii, or our version of Hawaii, Alola. Whatever, I guess, but another point, it's kind of just weird. I never, it was kind of weird when I first saw Team Skull, like, really? We're having a gangsta team? Whatever. Or gangster, or whatever you want to say, and I'm like, okay, but that's beside, it's kind of a punk gangsta style. It's kind of more of a, punk rock type thing, but they are cheerleaders for Marnie. So basically, they just go around with Marnie throughout the region, cheering her on, for the battles. And they're kind of also like the residents of the place where the Dark Gym is located. So let's go talk about the town where the Dark Gym is located. The Dark type gym is kind of this kind of alleyway. Like I said, it's kind of a punk rock mixed gangsta thing. It's like supposed to be a city, but it's more of just like an alleyway that goes straight to the gym or whatever, and you had to battle a bunch of Team Yell people. So it's kind of it was definitely interesting, and like I said, it's not evil, and I think that's the idea. It's like, we can have dark type gyms. They don't have to be evil. It doesn't have to be an evil team, because the Team Yell wasn't an evil team. There wasn't really an evil team in this game, and so that's kind of the idea. I think it took so long for Game Freak to make a dark type gym because they felt, okay, we made it out to be the evil type, and we thought it would be weird to create an evil gym, unless we were going to remock or redo or copy our, Giovanni gym story arc from the Generation 1 again. I think it just took them so long to realize, okay, we don't have to do that. It could just be a Dark-type gym. It could just be a gym leader who has Pokemon that, has the power to control the darkness. And I think this is a good stepping point for more Dark-type gyms. I wouldn't say, would the next generation have a Dark-type gym? I wouldn't know. I mean, that's up to Game Freak. I don't care if it's in the next generation or the generation after that. But this time, since we had a Dark-type gym, and people wanted this for years, right? Maybe that's one of the reasons why Game Freak did it, is because people have been wanting to do it, and that's a perfectly idea. But I think that it could be the reason. I actually could probably most likely be the reason, other than the one I was giving, that Game Freak finally realized, okay, it's fine to have a Dark-type gym. Actually, this is probably a better idea. But I'm just saying that, Game Freak should learn from this. Okay, we had a Dark-type gym, it wasn't evil, and so we could do this again. I don't think we need to do it in the next generation, or maybe we can do it in the next generation. But it's okay if we have another Dark-type gym. There's nothing wrong with that, and it doesn't have to be evil. And that's what I want them to think. So maybe the next generation or the generation after that, whatever, and any generation has another Dark-type gym. I just hope it's not 7 years, and you got the next 7-year game, and that game finally had another Dark-type gym after 7 years. I don't want to be like that, because then that's just kind of weird. But we'll see. We'll see the next game and see what happens, right? And that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for my next upload. My YouTube channel website link, as well as my Twitter, is down in the description as always. And thank you. Goodbye.